Welcome back, everyone. It's Ready or Not.
Football edition. I'm Nate the Great.
I'm Chris Stacks, and it was a decent week of football. I'm not going to say it was great, not going to say it was bad.
Well, I mean, the Sunday afternoon games were interesting. You had that three
yes.
games tied at 17-17 at the end.
Yep.
I'm like, what is going on? And they're not all games that you thought were going to be that close.
Oh, not even at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. So let's start off with the recap as far as the NFL side. And then you can go into our scores as far as who picked what games and how we did with Christina. You know, we had Christina on last week. I'm sure she's ecstatic. And one of the games I'm going to jump to is Buffalo versus the Jets.
Yep.
Jets win 20-17. Josh Allen gets injured at the end of the game.
Yeah, it's a potential UCL. They didn't say if it was a tear or not yet.
Not a tear. It's he injured the nerve.
The nerve.
Which he did 2 years ago, I think it was, and took him out for 4 games.
Oof.
So they're saying right now he's going to play next week, but it's also a pain tolerance issue.
Right.
And when you're doing this all day, can't see that being great for a nerve in your elbow.
Yep.
But that's huge. The fact that the Jets won, congrats, Christina. I'm sure you're still on cloud 9, which I would be too, honestly.
Yeah.
Eagles stay undefeated. Damn them. Can we have them play a real game?
Yeah. I don't see anyone beating them in
17. Anybody else you saw?
For the games, see, I didn't write down the games. Well, obviously, I have my Dolphins here. Ended up winning 35-32, high-scoring game. Didn't think it was going to go that high. But, I mean, I had Justin Fields, so I'm happy on the Chicago side for that. But my Dolphins ended up winning exactly what I wanted, which I mentioned in the last episode.
Yep. So the one thing I saw in that, and I put this as a note, to me, the Bears are heating up. Like, if we're playing NBA jams, they're a scary team right now on offense because Justin Fields is understanding when to throw and when to run. He can run. They clocked him and they said that he's the fastest quarterback this season as far as on a scramble. Faster than Kyler, faster than Hurts. They said he almost broke 21 miles an hour as a quarterback.
All right.
And so they keep putting up because they put up points against the Cowboys. They now put up points against the Dolphins, which I know the Dolphins' defense isn't great. But
which is something, we have to work on.
Yeah, you'll definitely get in that. But there was another team here, and the last 3 teams, 2 of them had a decent defense, and they put up points against them. New England. They put up 33 on New England. So if this is how it's going to be, are they going to be a sleeper as far as messing people's playoff runs up?
Could be. I mean, we got past them, so I'm glad for that. They can keep heating up. They're 3-6 right now.
I'm not saying for them making the playoffs. I'm saying for them messing up people's hopes.
Their division, I don't think they have a tough division.
No, actually, you're right. They don't have a great division.
They could potentially.
I didn't think about it from that way. I was looking at it more just the fact of, somebody comes up against them that thinks they got a cakewalk, and all of a sudden they lose by 15.
No, of course.
But no, you're right. I mean, they could. That division's not great. I wasn't even thinking about it from that because I believe they're Bears, Detroit, Packers, and I can't even think of
Vikings.
Vikings
are doing
Vikings are doing great.
So that means they would have to go for a wild card spot.
Yeah, but they with the way Fields is playing right now, that's why we all went for him last week. You got him. Seattle, Arizona was interesting. Seattle 31, Arizona 21. The Rams losing to Tampa, but this was not a good game for either of them.
It was not. But I mean, we even said like last week, it was like both teams are kind of like not playing where they should be.
Oh yeah.
So we don't know how that game's gonna turn out. We thought it was gonna be lower scoring than it was though.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa winning with 16 after last year. Last year you would have thought this game was gonna be 50-49. I mean, that's you had Tennessee and Kansas City. Kansas City squeaking it out, 20-17.
I know that was rough. I was like, and Kansas City defense did nothing for me.
Right, and I said last week the one thing that you had to worry about was Tennessee slowing the game down, using Derrick Henry, and keeping the ball out of Mahomes' hands. But they didn't do it as much as I expected.
They did in the first half.
Yeah.
Then I don't know what Derrick Henry was doing in the second half, but they did nothing in the second half.
Yeah.
Which allowed Kansas City to come back, which you never want to do that against Kansas City.
No, especially where they can score. And then obviously Baltimore won against New Orleans, which hurt me in a lot of ways, which we'll go over in the
I know,
games.
you big Saints as well.
I know. But Baltimore showed up.
They did.
And it showed up and showed out, to be honest. But I mean, the games wasn't anything that stood out besides, it was those that stood out a little bit, and the rest were kind of what you expected, I would say. But nothing crazy. Injuries this week. Josh Allen, we mentioned, it's the ulnar nerve. And as long as he can do the pain tolerance, he can play. Aaron Jones likely to play with a low ankle sprain. I believe you got Aaron, right?
I have Aaron, yeah, which that hurt me because I was hoping for him to have another
Big
blowout
week,
week, and then just didn't work out.
Romeo Dobbs in a walking boot, out 4 to 6 weeks.
Oof.
Christian Watson, he's out multiple weeks. They don't have a designated time frame yet. And then Evan Ingram is day to day, which only one of them really affects most of our league, or well, 2 affects most of our league. The rest of it's kind of whatever, but it could give your person a couple extra targets.
Well, just I don't know if you remember, Ingram's the one that I picked up in the waiver last week and had to drop because they took Darren Waller off IR. So I ended up dropping him as soon as I picked him up, and then Prue picked him up.
Ooh, I didn't see that.
No, sorry, not Prue. Sorry, Tebow.
Tebow, okay.
Sorry, Tebow picked him up and ended up getting hurt. I didn't actually realize he got hurt. I saw he had no numbers.
Yep. So then let's go into the legends and the weakest of the week.
Do you want to go through our picks?
Oh no, you're right. Go through the picks. I don't really want to hear because I lost.
So I mean, I'm not going to go through individual games, but I will tell you this: Christina had the most picks correct for the games of the week by 1. Second place, so she had 10 picks correct.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Then you had Stacks with 7 picks correct. Nate with 9.
Oh.
The only one, Christina picked her Jets over the Bills, gave her that lead. Then again, I picked my Dolphins over the Bears, and she picked Bears.
I was trying to be a little contrarian last week.
Well, what do you mean? I was being Jerry. I picked the Lions. Which actually I ended up winning that one.
You won that one. And I even said, I don't like this game. That game I didn't like. It was too close. There was something else that game I really didn't like. And there was one other one. Oh, the Seattle-Arizona game I really didn't like.
You picked Seattle, though I picked Arizona, so I lost that one. And then Atlanta, LA Chargers, I picked Atlanta, so I lost that one. But that was one of the close games. It was 17-17 at the end.
Yep.
So could have gone either way. Didn't go my
Minnesota, Washington was like that. There was a lot of games that were toss-ups, and nobody demanded to win. They just got lucky.
Like, we'll kick a field goal to win.
Yeah, pretty much. Now, legends and weakest?
Legends and weakest. So we got quarterback legends. Number 1, Fields. We talked about him. Glad that I picked him up. Sorry, Stacks. Sorry, Will.
We got to go to free agent acquisition budget next year. This waiver wire shit doesn't work.
And might work better for me.
I would have put 40-50% of my budget on Fields.
Well, I mean, and it would have worked out.
Yeah.
Highest score, not of the week.
Second highest.
Second highest score of the week, but highest quarterback of the week.
Yep.
We'll go through who the highest scorer is later.
Wow.
But you got Fields, you had Mahomes, who started off slow.
Really bad. I thought he was. If he had stayed on his path the way they were treating him in the first half, I would have won my game.
I know, that's the thing, because I know you were against him and you were like projected to win, and then I was like, what happened? I'm like, Mahomes went off.
Yeah.
So Fields ended up with 43.7. Mahomes ended up with 35.1. Mm-hmm. So awesome score. Yeah, massive turnaround. He had like 12 in the first half. Then you got Josh Allen, despite getting injured at the end, still put up 24.8 points. Yep. So that was around his projection. So he did what he was supposed to do.
What he was supposed to.
Tua ended up putting 23, which is funny. I have Tua in my other league. He put 30 because they have bonuses.
Yeah.
So, but 23 is still above his projection, and you have him on your bench. He did better than both your starting quarterbacks.
I'm definitely not playing him over Hurts.
Still gonna
in a game that they win.
According to the stats, Tua is the number 1 QB right now, right? Then you got number 5, Geno Smith with 21.8. I mean, Geno Smith's been consistent.
Right, and I played him over Geno, which was a 1.3 point swing.
Yeah. He also played him over Hurts, who was 18 points only.
Well, yeah, but no offense, it's not going to happen. All I needed was Geno to run, or Jalen to run in a touchdown or whatever, and it was completely flip-flop.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
They didn't need Jalen. That's the problem. Actual honorable mention, for your brother here, Joe Burrow, 19.1, didn't drop off that much. He came back to earth, but it didn't go too low. Even with Mixon having 50.
Yeah.
So you look at the running backs or the legends of the week for the running back lineup. I'm gonna start at 5 because the first one's just way too good. Actually, we'll go honorable mention. Austin Eckler with Tebow at 19.6. Kenyon Drake.
Wait, hold on. I want to stop you right there. I'm going to do another honorable mention for Cordero Patterson, who just came off IR. and number
went
7
off.
in the list, 17.8.
He went off.
So I think who had Cordero?
Christina.
Yep, Christina. So yeah, I'll run from that. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I like that. Kenan Drake with 23.9 on Justine's team. Derrick Henry, Prue 24.5. Travis Etienne, so, he's got to be happy as hell they got run at Robinson. Because now he gets to run. What was it, 26.6. Kenneth Walker, Texas Ranger, for Will, 27.4.
Also had a slower start. They did towards the end.
They didn't have a good start to the game. And then Joe Mixon, Justine having 2 players in one slot, scoring 56.1 points.
Oh yeah.
Because more or less you go to what? Actually, you go to the number 2, multiply that by 2, and Justine's 1 player outscored him by 2.
Yeah.
Joe Mixon, that boy, he had some Wheaties, he had some spinach from Popeye. I don't know what he had. 22 carries, 153 yards on 22 carries, 4 catches for 58 yards. He balled out. He showed up. That was a great week to have Joe Mixon in your lineup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And wide receivers, I'll also start from the bottom.
Honorable mention because he's on the Dolphins. No other reason.
Which one? Who is it? Waddle. We'll get to
Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. So Jalen Waddle got 17 points. But I also want to do Mecole Hardman, who apparently is the wide receiver choice for the Chiefs this week.
Yeah.
So
Which I called.
Number 7, 16.9. Then so number 5, we have Kirk. So Kirk on Jacksonville put up 17.6. Ended up with the win over the Raiders.
Yep.
So he did his job. We got Cooper Kupp. But I think we were worried
Playing
about.
injured,
Yeah, he was playing injured.
High ankle sprain. You can't stop Cup.
Still put up 22.8 points. So good for Kupp. That's very good. Justin Jefferson. Well, Christina wanted Kirk Cousins to throw it to Jefferson. He did it. Thank Kirk Cousins for that. 23 points. Tariq Hill on my Dolphins again. 24.8. I also want to mention, I don't know if you saw the stat, fastest to 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Insane. 9 games.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. So hasn't been done yet. Broke a record. He is very happy to be in Miami.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we're happy to have him.
Yeah.
Then number 1, Devontae Adams, my former wide receiver that I traded to my brother, who did nothing last week and decided to go off. Which we mentioned. He was like he wants to.
Yeah.
Like the Raiders still lost, but he was like, it's not going to be on me.
Yeah, that was a was it retribution freaking attempt?
Yeah, because he had like
guys.
0.7 points last week.
Yeah.
Bounces out to about 16 points a game.
Not bad. So
But, 32.6.
The one statistic I'm looking at on here that's like blowing my mind. Oh, by the way, actually, if you want to throw an honorable mention, Palmer for the Chargers had 15.6 as the only show in town, which means he's being double covered. He's supposed to be a 3rd or 4th wide receiver on that team, and he came to play even with nobody else to guard. That's pretty impressive. I'll give him that. And he's kind of the lifeblood of the Chargers right now. Him and Eckler is all they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
But when you look at Tua, of all quarterbacks that I would ever say this about, Tua is supporting 2 top 10 wide receivers right now. And I bet you if we look at the stats, potentially top 6 wide receivers between Waddle and Hill, which I bet you nobody in the league would have ever expected.
Oh, yeah.
And I know a lot of it is on Waddle and Hill because you can throw them the ball 1 yard ahead of you and they run for 20. But
side note, because it just reminded me of something. Did you see that pass to Kelsey last night? Or sorry, when did they play last night? I'm confused. Yeah, Sunday night. Mahomes threw it behind Kelsey, and he like completely contorted back and caught the pass like a yard behind him. It was ridiculous. Like terrible pass, but amazing catch.
I did not, but that's impressive, especially for a tight end. They're not usually that nimble. Yeah. That's impressive. There was a couple tight ends. Goddard and Komet were one of the real ones I wanted to point out. Goddard with 21 points, your brother's keeper that's no longer on his team.
Yep, and he was against this week.
Yeah, true. And then Cole Komet, which I guess I should have kept. They finally realized they should throw him the ball. 19.5 points, very impressive. And Kelsey did his normal, 16.6.
If anything, he a little underperformed. Slightly.
True. And then, that's not what I wanted. I don't care about keepers. Patriots.
Defense, yep. Patriots defense with 26 points.
Yep.
Which, is that the one you mentioned?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah, I remember
I have them in my other league. I couldn't get them in our league. I tried. But if you look at it, it's so funny. Patriots, and then the next 6 are not even rostered. And then it was the Colts with 9, Buccaneers with 8, Eagles with 8. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
we missed a
no
lot
one was.
there.
I mean, I know it's Green Bay, but still Lions against Green Bay. No one's gonna pick them up.
No.
Then you got Jets against Buffalo. No one's gonna see that. No one saw that coming. Ravens against.
Surprised Christina didn't play them.
I mean, I know she wanted just to win, but I don't think she was like, it's definitely gonna happen. But Ravens could have been we were expecting a higher scoring game.
Yeah.
So
maybe so was whatchamacallit. So was Las Vegas. They were expecting a higher scoring game.
True.
And then you look at the weakest of the week. I don't want to scroll all the way down on there. If you look at wide receivers, I know this one hurts you. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 7.5, Godwin with 7.2, Boyd with 6.9, Evans with 6.5, and Gabe Davis with 4.3.
Mm-hmm.
I told you he was going to be boom or bust.
But I was hoping for a boom. I kept saying in the last podcast, pass to Davis. Apparently, he does not watch our podcast.
Very true. I know. Come on, Josh.
Come on. While you're nursing that UCL injury, nerve injury.
Hold on. Yep.
Watch our podcast.
And then the running backs, this one hurt me. Kamara with 7.7.
Yep.
Swift with 6.5. Gibson with 5.7. Jones with 5.5. You had 2 out of 5 on here. And then Montgomery, I had 2 out of 5 as well with 4.9.
But the difference is I won my game.
And I didn't play Montgomery. And then the quarterbacks, Heineke with 14.1, which it was on the lower end of the spectrum, but it still wasn't bad for Heineke, especially against that defense. Herbert with 13.1, Goff with 12.4, Stafford with 9.5, and Mariota with 7.6. That Mariota one, I actually listened to somebody else in one of my other leagues and played Mariota.
Ooh,
destroyed me.
I had Mariota in this league, but I had him on the bench.
Yeah. But I ended up putting him in over Dalton. And Dalton didn't do well, but he still did. I think I saw like 19 points versus 7.
Which is, good for quarterback.
For Dalton, yeah. Now looking at the weekly report for the Treps, Belichick yourself.
Best team.
When you have one player do 50,
it
does help.
That's exactly what I told my brother. My brother texted me Monday during the day before the Monday night game, and he was saying how he felt like his Brew would have beat anyone but him.
Yep.
And he was like, wait, maybe not Belichick yourself. And I was like, yeah, she could potentially outscore you.
Yeah.
And she did. I mean,
197.5.
Kenyon Drake put up another, I think, 22, 23 points.
Something like that. It was a good week for her.
Actually, I'm surprised
Let's see if she can keep it up.
Okay.
Close here.
No. Oh yeah, he was number 5, 23.9.
Yep. Yeah, that's a pretty good number. So Steiger, unfortunately, in the worst team this week with 93.18. I did see he made some modifications, but it just wasn't enough. He actually maxed out his score. That was the max his team ranked. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that one. I know Justine did.
Yeah, she did too. Nat Rod with the number 1 quarterback of the week with Justin Fields, 43.72. Justine with running back of the week, 56.10.
Got Will with number 1 wide receiver of the week, Devontae Adams, my former wide receiver. Then you got the Goddard with the top tight end on Prue's team.
Dallas
Will's former keeper. Then Sukop, top kicker, with 11 on Tebow. No Young Hoku this week.
No Young Hoku.
He was kind of slacking a little bit.
And then the Patriots for Prue, 26.
Yeah.
So that's a nice day for the defense.
Prue has 2 of the top scoring players of the week.
Yep.
But unfortunately, wasn't enough.
And then everybody else is 1 except for me. I didn't have any. Bench warmers of the week, I got up there with Tua, but like I said, I thought the floor for Gino was higher than Tua, and I was willing to take that sacrifice. 1.2 points, 1.3 points wasn't too far off. And then Michael Carter for Will, 15 for first Buffalo. I wouldn't have played him either.
But you got Lazard on for wide receiver for Green Bay on Prue's team.
I might have played him.
That was an interesting.
I might have played him.
I don't think it would have given him a win. I don't think it would have made that much of a difference, but I think I would have played him. I think he did better last week than he was looking up, and it was against the Lions.
Yep.
But you didn't know the Lions were going to win beforehand.
Sure.
Then you got Hawkinson, highest tight end on the bench, 11.5. It's good for a tight end.
Yeah, that's good for a tight end. I'll take 10 and up.
Yeah, absolutely, which is also Prue.
Yeah.
So Prue's got so far 2.
Jacoby Myers for Christina, having a kicker on the bench. Depending on what's coming up with buys, I understand that one. And for some reason, they threw me on here with the Cowboys on my bench
You're the only one that
I
had
wasn't
Cowboys.
dropping them.
Yeah.
They were not going anywhere the way they've been playing. I know somebody would have picked them up in a heartbeat on me. Most efficient manager of the week, Justine with 100% on point.
Yeah.
Whew. Least efficient though, Natrod. Again,
Hey man,
117.84.
not that far off though. I think we were all like, so I actually looked at my percentage and I'm at 87.1. So it's not that I was not efficient.
I would have beat you. Or no, I would.
No, you wouldn't
I would
have
have lost
beat
you
me.
by
I
a
already
point.
checked that.
I would have lost you by a point.
Yeah, lost.
Highest points in the loss, Prue with 164, losing to Will at 187. Lowest points in a win, Natrod with 117.84 over Steiger's 93.18.
Biggest blow up. Yeah.
Battle of the Toilet Bowl.
Nah, I'm on my way up. It's 2 in a row. I'm coming for Prue next. We'll talk about that next podcast though. Biggest blowout, you got Justine over Christina. I mean, 55 point
Yeah, that was no joke.
swing. Literally 55 points.
So
And-
pretty much a mixed one.
Well, mixing at 656.
No, a mixed one. If you got Joe mixed one, you won.
Oh, yes. But without, like, literally, Joe Mixon, it would have been 1 point down. So, crazy win on that one.
Oh,
Great
yeah.
job. And then you got, it didn't, Justine last week lost to Tebow, right? That was the,
Yep.
So she wanted to make up for it.
Oh yeah, she made up for
Yeah,
a big way.
narrow victory. Will 187, over Prue's 164.
23-point victory. That's not that. Almost 24. That's not that narrow.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. All the games were a little more
Yeah, spread out this week.
week. Then you got overachiever, obviously Justine.
50, almost 50 points.
Yeah, almost 50
Almost
points
50
over
points.
projection.
And then unfortunately, underachiever, Steiger, 35 points under projection. Damn. We were talking about that this week too. And then you look at the percentages, Justine with 100, Steiger unfortunately with 100, Champ with 98.6, your brother with 98.6, the replacements with 95.6, and myself with 95.5.
King's Gestures with 88.6.
Yeah, so almost everybody but two were above 90% for the week.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting pretty consistent on actually hitting our points. It's just you got players going off for 50.
Yeah.
Right now, it's really a battle of which person's going to have the higher performance from their star player going into the playoffs.
Right.
That's really what it's looking like right now. And then looking at the current rankings, I'm not liking these, but the current rankings, Steiger coming in last, unfortunately 2-7. Steiger, you can mess up some people's playoff runs here, which is a little bit of move here and there.
Don't mess up mine.
Nate the Great, 3-6,
On my way up.
7th, on his way up, 2 wins in a row, like you said. Belichick yourself, 4-5 in 6th, but only a game out of 3rd. Yeah, game out of 3rd. Champ, 2 losses in a row, 4-5.
In 4th place, we got Stacks, 5-4, with the one loss this last week.
Yep.
You got Tebow, moved on up 2 places to 3rd place.
Yeah.
With a record of 5-4, but more points than Stacks, which is why he passed you.
Yep.
Then you got Prue holding on to 2nd right now with the loss to Will, who is still number 1 at 7-2. Prue at 6-3.
Yep. And right now it's interesting because the two teams I'm most afraid of are Will and Belichick, with King's Gestures behind them. But the problem is Champ, myself, the replacements, and Belichick. But we've all proved that we can have weeks of 190 plus. So in a single elimination, it's really whoever
That week.
Yeah.
Wants to do it.
It's like the definition of football there. They brought from not the longest yard. What was the one with Jamie Foxx in it? Do you remember that football? Any Given Sunday.
Oh.
Anybody can win on any given Sunday because when you got people doing 50, 40, what do we have? We have Justin Fields at 43, Mixon with 56, Mahomes with 35,
Kenneth Walker with 27.
Kenneth Walker with 27, Devontae Adams with 32. When you have people scoring over the Pats with 26, when you have people scoring double what the next person in their respective position is scoring, that's where you have a massive separation on who's going to win and who's going to lose.
Oh, yeah.
And then just a quick look for this week. Not going into it, we'll go over that before next week. There we go, league. Champ versus the replacements this coming week. Nate the Great versus the King's Jesters. You want to make a position move in the standings? That's a game right there.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I need to win that game in order if I want to keep going on my way into the playoffs.
Yep.
Then you got Team 3Ts against Steiger. So Steiger, that's a chance for Steiger to win that.
We would all appreciate you coming through this week, pull some stuff out.
Personally, I was actually thinking about it last night. I don't want him to lose because I can't catch him anyway. So I need him to make everyone else lose.
Yeah, but I want him to lose.
Yeah, I know you want to lose, but I want you to lose. Which speaking of you're against Belichick yourself.
Yep.
So Belichick yourself, have another 197-point week.
And I'm going to have 198. We appreciate it. We love
196 you can have. But that was actually probably be the most interesting game this week.
Oh, it really will.
Well, no, maybe Champ versus the replacements.
Honestly, there's 3 close games this week, and then there's one that Steiger could either surprise the shit out of everybody or just have another normal week.
We also have to see what happens on the waiver wire tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So get your waiver. This one doesn't have the lineups yet. Get projections.
Yep. Get your waiver wire claims in. Even I messed up last week. Like I said, I did them early and then didn't recheck. So make sure you're checking late. Check on what's going on with injuries. Check on how your players are looking.
And try to take everything away from Stacks.
I actually, that's a good one to look at. I didn't think about that. Waiver wires for the week. Steiger's number 1.
Number 6. I already checked earlier.
How am I number 6 again?
My brother's number 3 in the waiver wire. I don't think he is.
There's something going on here. Collusion. All right. But ladies and gents, we're actually going to be, so Nate and I are going to be out of town for a couple days this week. So we're not going to be shooting on Thursday. We're going to be shooting tomorrow, and I'll still be posting on either Wednesday night or Thursday. So keep updated in the chat. I'll post it. I'll post this today though. And guys, have a great week.